All right, I'm going to do a more advanced analysis of how to use the rider feature of, in this case, I'm using the KTM Connect app. I've got it paired with my 350 SX-F 2025 model year. So I'm going to jump into rider, and first of all, here you just see your feed. These are all your sessions, and this kind of represents a day at a track, each one of these items. So click on your click on the session you want to look at, and now you're seeing a list of your sessions at this track. So off to the left here, we've got go back here. Off to the left here, we have the 16th right there in the top left corner. The 25th, see that number off to the left there? That's just saying that that's your 16th fastest effort at this track or whatever. So I'm gonna just open this up and all days at track. I'm gonna choose this filter adjustment here. So you can just see how many times I've ridden this track. I've ridden this track a ton of times, more than 50 times. I'm not sure what that number is, but I've ridden this track a ton. So just most recently on October 8th, you can see in the third row down, I got my second fastest session. See the second off to the left there? So I'm going to start by looking at this one and just try and pick it apart. Like, what did I do? How did I get that second fastest of all these attempts? First, just going kind of through the anatomy of the screen here. This shows the track layout. This shows up here in the top. It's showing these are where your the segment gates are. This is where the finish line is. So you can quickly see kind of how the track is segmented. And then if you go down into this summary lap view, you can see in which laps you got your fastest segments. So this you can see that this theoretical fastest lap down here, this is just the combination of all your best segments. So lap 4, I had those two best segments, the first and the last segment. My actual fastest lap though had none of my, I didn't do any of my segments the fastest in that one. So that's actually pretty interesting. That doesn't typically happen. Usually like your fastest actual lap contains, one or two or all your fastest segments sometimes. So the fact that it doesn't is kind of the reason that my actual fastest is almost a second different than my lap 99. So, I mean, this is my the second fastest lap of, hundreds of laps here at this track. And my lap 99 shows that I have still a lot of potential. So something else you can kind of look at is I'll just go to lap 3, just tap on that. And then this is where you're spending your time in the RPMs. So 52% of the time I'm in the 6,000, 9,000 RPM range, which that's pretty normal for a 350, I guess. But I am getting into the higher RPMs. Like you won't even see this range reached, I don't think, on most 450s. But 250s and 350s, you see you can get into that range. And so that may be something to look at. It's just, what RPM range, you know how to use the bike. It's different per bike, for your setup, whatever. But an even more helpful one might just be what time you're spending in which gears and how many times you're shifting. So take a look at these things and just adapt it to what is going to work best for you and your bike setup and the type of track, the conditions of the track, everything like that. I know for myself, like I need to get into fourth on this particular track that I'm riding, the Fox Raceway vet track. I need to get into fourth in order to get good lap times on this. If I'm never getting to fourth, I'm leaving a lot on the table. And then you can come down here and see your lap 99 is all the segments, all that stuff. So let's just come back over here though to actually let me come up to the summary. I'm going to tap on this and you can see that pairing your heart rate gives you this data right here. So you can see if you're tracking your heart rate, you'll know that you're riding your best when you get into a certain heart rate zone. Maybe not beyond it, but definitely not below a certain range. So getting in a good heart rate zone is helpful, and pairing your heart rate strap to the CUO on the bike is great. So definitely try that out. You'll see more stuff in here about the segments, opportunities for improvement that we've detected, your target potential, just what it means to stitch all the corners together perfectly, stuff like that. But jumping back to the laps, let's go to lap 3 and let's jump in. So this is we're in an advanced analysis. So first of all, what I like to do is just, I have targets for speed. So I typically reach my highest speed here. I'll look at this and I'll make sure that I'm getting to like the speed that I know I should be hitting in that section. And that a lot of times that's just breaking habits. If you ride a track a lot, you get into a habit of hitting or maybe not getting to the speed that you would like to be. And then sometimes it's just, you have it, you hear the bike sounding a certain way, and then you stop trying harder at some point. I don't know. That's all kind of up to your riding style. But okay, so what I'll typically do is maybe start by comparing my lap 99 and just see if I'm using this button down here to zoom in and zoom out. So maybe I'll just first see, okay, for my lap 99 is a second faster. I'm going to turn off this side-by-side feature, just this button right here, turning that off so I can kind of scrub through the lap and see, like, I'm gaining time kind of everywhere. So let's see, turn on this right here so that you can see the slower by. And let me start over. So first of all, starting at the start line, not really faster yet, but I'm just slowly gaining time, like a tenth of a second every few meters or whatever. And so my lap 99 is showing that, yeah, just 1.2 seconds ahead at this point of the track, and I've taken all the same lines so far. So that's pretty interesting. It's in the same session. Even through here, I'm taking the same line, and yeah, by the end, I'm 1.8 seconds faster just by, yeah, that's the thing to look into. It's like, why was I faster? So that would be one thing I would want to take a look at. Maybe it's gear position, something like that. Here's another thing to take a quick look at. I'm rewinding, but is like these red and green dots. These are the different shift points on the track. So if you see, the red dots are showing the shift points for the comparison lap to lap 99, and the green dots are showing the shift points for the base lap. But notice how like similar they are. They're like right on top of each other. So like my habits are pretty strong. It's probably, I can already see it's probably not a gear position difference. I'm not like in fourth any more or less in one track than the other. So it wouldn't be that, but I'd just take a look. So rewinding again. But so here's how we start breaking it down, maybe. So first of all, like I jump into the settings. Let me back up again. So this is the settings button. I'm tapping on settings, and I have a few options here. So I can turn off the heat map function. I already have the secondary metric turned off. So let me just go back and reload these settings. So now, instead of seeing a heat map showing speed where I'm going fast, where I'm going slower, I'm just showing green versus red. And, maybe this makes it easier to just see line choice differences. So I'll just compare. This is lap 1, and that just happens to be my second fastest lap of the day. This would be my third, my fourth, so forth. But looking at lap 1, right away, you can see there's a big line choice difference. So I can come over here and look at like what's the impact of this line choice difference. And so let me zoom back in. Now, if I'm looking at just a line choice difference, what I want to do typically is back up before the corner into some straight part of the track where I'm on the same line. And then now I'm going to use the sync on position feature. So turn that on so that both riders are now just right on top of each other right here. And then I'm going to turn on this feature, which is going to show the slower than, faster than comparison. So right now I can see that I'm 0.3 seconds slower before this whole corner section. And I wouldn't do it right here just because like in one corner I'm already slowing down to take the inside, and in one lap I'm still going fast to take the outside. So you need to back up just a little bit before that. You kind of know like my corner, I should start here to do a comparison. So slower by 0.3 seconds. And then by the end of this, faster by 0.1. So even my lap 99 doesn't show that the outside is faster in this corner, but that's a big breakdown right there. That's a big insight. If I want to do this track faster and the outside is clean, it's not too bumpy or something like that, I definitely should be trying to take the outside instead of trying to make the inside work like I was all day. So that would even improve my time over the lap 99. So that's interesting. Okay, let's go back and do a little bit more analysis here. So I've already got heat map turned off. I've got secondary metrics. So let's just make sure that I'm going to turn on gear right here. So the heat map, I'm setting that to gear. And this is going to do kind of what we already confirmed, but these different colors show different gears. So I'm going to go back to my lap 99. And yeah, I mean, the lap 99 is just showing like these are all kind of the same colors, indicating I'm in the same gear. That's one way to just do a quick overview. Like, was I in a different gear? Was that the reason that there's such a big difference? Yeah, actually, here's a different gear. So let's go back all the way to the end of the lap. So look at the gear. I'm in second gear in one and third gear in the other. And how do I know which gear I'm in? Well, we also can do that, but I might be getting ahead of myself here on these. I'm going to turn on gear position right here. That's in this section up here. So toggle that on, and now you can see second versus third. So I've got second and third, and I just know I knew what the colors were. But if you want to know what gears are in, or what, just turn that on, and then you can see. So I hit the shift point right here, and in my comparison lap, the versus lap, right there, versus lap, I'm in lap 3 through the corner going around the outside versus lap 2 when I took the inside. All right, that's interesting. I'm going to undo that just to leave more space on the screen. And now what I really wanted to do was like, why is my lap 99 so much faster? The gears, same shift points actually for the whole lap. So that's not the answer. I'm going to turn the heat map function back to none. Actually, I'm going to turn it back to, I'll leave it on none. And I'm going to turn the secondary metric to deceleration. So this is just like where you're getting on the brakes. So let's see if there's any kind of indication just from this. And I'll just jump down to here. So remember, the red is the comparison lap. That's the lap 99, and the green is the base lap. So I'm looking for differences in deceleration, and honestly, not really seeing it. Maybe you'd expect that. Like, let's take this for an example. Maybe you'd expect that on the faster lap, I'm decelerating later. I'm getting on the brakes later, coming into a corner. But yeah, the lap 99 shows that I'm getting on the brakes earlier. So, I'm sure it's part of the answer. But like, here's a big braking moment. Notice how long those secondary metric lines are. It's looking pretty similar. Maybe turning on acceleration instead of deceleration would answer it. So, anyways, there's more ways to break that down. Let's keep going. Not seeing it in the acceleration metrics either, at least not super clearly. So let's keep digging. Well, what I'm gonna do now is just to keep things really clean. I'm gonna turn off secondary metric, and now let's start jumping into some of the features of the engine data. So, like, let's do throttle position. I actually love this one. So let's do throttle position, and see if there's a difference. So yeah, compare this to my lap 99. Yeah, so again, like it's easy, a little bit easier to use this graph with the side by side. So with this turned on down here, so that the graph, because it's going to keep the graph like in sync with your position on the track. So like when it's not turned on, see how the dots are in different spots? That means that the graph's also going to be in different spots, making a direct comparison for that point on the track different. So we definitely want to turn this on. Now that the graphs right on top of each other, and like you just see, it's little things like this. Like look how much more throttle I have on right at that point. Look at that little blip right there. Look at this peak right here. So it's so many ways that you can see this guy right here. I think it's just a combination of, this is a big one right here. So getting on the gas and assuming I have traction and everything like that. Here's another really big one. This probably accounts for this, the slight differences here account for a lot ultimately if you add it up throughout the whole track. So this is actually like another thing I always want to look at when I'm looking at a throttle position chart is like if you compare against better riders, they have better plateaus here. So they get on the gas, and you don't see the little up and downs. Like you don't see the little, you know, that feature of the data. It looks more like completely on the gas and pinned, and then completely off, and it comes up earlier, stays on the throttle longer, and especially like coming out of corners. And what I know I have a tendency to do is I have a, you know, compare it to your own data. You may see that you're better or worse than me in a 90-degree corner, like I am right here. So it's kind of a higher speed 90-degree corner. I'm going 40 miles per hour at this point, and I've got like 57% throttle at this point on the track, and 60, you know, I'm ranging between 50 and 65, 70% throttle coming out of a corner. But look how choppy it is. It's not just like on and just level and pinned. So that's a 90-degree corner. If you look at tighter corners like this one, it's kind of even a little bit more up and down. And I know that for me, this is something I need to be working on and do work on. It's just smoother application of throttle, and actually go back to the engine settings and adapt it. Like try and change your throttle sensitivity. Another feature of the KTM Connect app. Change those things and see if you can get a little bit more of a plateau, or comes up and then comes down. If you look at better riders, it's typically what you'll see. All right, so I think we explained the difference here in some of these metrics. So I've showed you how to look for different metrics here in that you might want to use to break down your lap, find out how you could get a little bit faster. I've showed you how to use these metrics, the heat map function, the secondary metrics. I've shown you that. So now let me show you one more thing, which is coming in here and again, like I've ridden this track a ton of times, and what we're seeing here is this is the reporting session. This was on October 8th, and I got my second fastest, and that's what you're seeing right there. So I'm going to go through here and search back to my first fastest lap at this track, and it's back there in August. Oh, went too far, so I must have missed there it is, August 6th. So I'm going to look at this guy, and so notice my lap 99 was a little bit slower, but my actual fastest lap in the session was slightly faster. So there's my lap time, 46.88, comparing to a lap that is a 46.58. So just a tiny bit faster. So what did I do and to get that faster lap time? And we'll zoom back in. Notice the track is like still pretty much exactly, you know, a lot of times dirt moves around and lines kind of shift over like August 2nd to October, or August 6th to October 8th. You might think there's a little bit more of movement of the dirt, but Fox Raceway keeps that pretty clean. So, yeah, here's the difference in line choice right here, going inside versus outside. But otherwise, like I'm kind of doing the same line, and here's a big difference: outside versus inside. So kind of like what we saw earlier, but I'm going to do the same analysis. So I got side by side turned on. I've got the measurement of the faster by, slower by analysis. So I'm 0.2 seconds faster in my base lap. So that means that on October 8th, I'm 0.2 seconds faster up to this point, which is like 95% through the whole lap. And I'm just going to hit play right here, and you'll see that I lose all my time trying to make this inside work versus the outside. So once again, I was up by 0.2, now I'm down by 0.3, so I lose half a second just in that corner from not making that, from trying to make that inside work. And yeah, that's some tactical error right there. That was true even on October 8th. It would have been fast to go on the outside, but even if you look from 2 months separated, it was still true. Let's see, just for interest, just for fun, like let's look at the shift points. So I'm just rewinding again. So here's my first shift point, and yeah, one of the laps I didn't shift there, the other one I did. So let's turn this back on. Let's turn off throttle position and just do gear position. So there's a shift point difference right there. But now I'm back shifting. A little bit of shift point differences from the 2 months, using the gears a little bit differently. I like to keep track of this, but a lot of the shift points are the same. Like right here, same shift point. Right here, same shift point. So interesting. Well, that's my advanced analysis, and it's always, I hope that you learned something. It's different for your riding, for your bike, for your track conditions. All that stuff are different for you, but I hope you learned something and can apply it to your own riding.